Mike Licio from SoloMode Games. Today, I'm going to do a solo playthrough of the 1 to 4 player game Petrichor. I'm going to be doing the Southern Wind solo variant, so let's head on over to the table and take a look. Okay, here we have the setup for the solo game of Petrichor, also known as the Southern Winds variant. The setup is very similar to the multiplayer game. The main differences are as follows. Here are my fields, basically all of the areas where I'm going to be placing my raindrops and clouds, and where the AI opponent's going to be placing their raindrops and clouds. And for the solo game, you're choosing amongst the tiles that have this little kind of compass icon in the bottom left, and so I chose all of those tiles that had them. I shuffled them all up and I chose 6 randomly, and they get placed in ascending order. So 2 here, then 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10. When you are going through these tiles, you go from left to right, top to bottom, okay? And so there's my starting board. Again, that was randomly determined. And I'm going to be the blue player. I've got my marker here on 0 on the score track, and the AI is going to be red, and we also have our markers on the 0 of the voting track. This is the victory point track, and the voting track, this is the round marker. To begin the game, we're going to do a couple of things. Number 1 is I'm going to seed the fields with 2 neutral clouds, and we do this by rolling the 6-sided die. This is really the only component other than this deck of AI cards that are specific to the solo game. You just get this standard D6 and that deck of cards that are going to determine what actions the AI player will take. So let's first seed those. So we've got a 5, and so we're going to place 1 cloud, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place one of the neutral players' raindrops in there. And we're going to do a second, and that's going to go here in 2. We go ahead and place that cloud with a raindrop in it. And now, unlike in the multiplayer game, in a multiplayer game in reverse turn order, players get to choose which tile they want to start with. I also am going to roll, and if I roll a 2 or a 5, I have to re-roll until I get to a tile that doesn't have a cloud on it already, and that's going to be a 1. So I place my cloud here and put one of my raindrops in it. All right. The last thing we need to do to set up is we're going to roll the 3 harvest dice and place them in the center. Let me go ahead and do that. Wow, okay, we already have 2 die face showing the harvest, and then we've got 4 pips here, and you'll see how that works out. But this means that it's very likely that we'll get a harvest or scoring round here. Maybe not this first round, but probably by the second round at the latest. That's not always the case. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. There are 4 phases. You've got an action phase, and all of these are denoted on this nice little player aid card. You've got an action phase, and in the solo game, the AI opponent always goes first. So we've got an action phase, then we've got a weather phase, a harvest phase, and a cleanup phase, and I'll go through those as we do them, obviously, in order. So first thing we're going to do is the AI is going to take its action. All right, so we take a look at the card here, and what this says is it's going to be placing a raindrop directly onto a tile. All right, so we find out by rolling the die which tile it's going to be placing it on. It's going to be placing it on 3, 1, 2, and 3. So we have a neutral raindrop on that tile directly. And now this tells us what voting actions the AI is going to take. So what this says is we're going to place one of its voting markers on the rain spot. And this is a harvest action, okay? And so what it's going to do is it's going to reduce the harvest die by 1. These are already at the harvest phase, so you can't do anything with those. This you reduce to 1. Anytime you reduce the harvest die, you get a point. So the AI already has its first point. And now I get my turn. So I start off with 8 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 8 cards. We'll lay them out here and see what we've got. Well, we've got a lot of rain cards. We've got 1 frost, a sun, and 2 wind. Okay, so I've got four potential types of actions I can take here. I did get at least one of all four of the cards, and I'll explain very briefly what they do. The first one is the Frost card, and with a Frost card, if you play it, you get to place out a cloud on any tile that doesn't have a cloud and put one of your raindrops in it. The Sun is an action where you can place 2 drops into a cloud where you already are present, where you have at least 1 drop in it. Okay? The Wind allows you to move a cloud that you're present in to an adjacent space, and adjacent means orthogonally, so left, right, up, or down. You can't go diagonally. And then finally, Rain, which is this one, allows you to rain any 1 drop from up to 2 clouds you're present in. So if you have multiple clouds, you can rain 2 drops from 2 different clouds, or you could even take rain 2 drops out of 1 cloud if you choose to do that. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring out another cloud. All right, so I'm going to do a Frost action. I'm going to take a cloud. And what I'm going to do is I'd like to get in on this action here, this wheat action, and place one of my raindrops in there. This could potentially be a lot of points at the end of the game. This gives out the player with the most influence, the most raindrops on this tile during a harvest round, or that's a scoring round, gets 2 points plus a wheat token, and whoever has the majority of wheat tokens at the end of the game gets 12 extra points. That's a big point swing there, so I always like to fight over this wheat tile. All right, so the first thing I've done is taken my action, and now I can vote. And there are 3 things you can do during the voting action. You can put one of your voting markers in the corresponding space. So I can put one of my voting markers in Frost. You can also always put it in the next space clockwise. So in this case, I can also put it into Sun. The third thing you can do is take a harvest action, which you saw me do with the AI, which is basically you choose one of the dice and you lower it by 1. In this case, I only have the option of 1 because these are already at the harvest. So I could also knock that down to 2, get us closer to a scoring round, and get a point. But instead, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put one into Frost. Place that in the discard pile. Now, I also have the option to take a second action, and to do that you play 2 matching cards. So basically it costs you more to take that second action. Now I'd love to do a Sun action, but I've only got 1 sun card. So what I could do is play any 2 other cards to give me another Sun. So if I wanted to, I can play this Sun and 2 wind, or 2 rain, or a rain and a wind. And so I'm probably, well, boy. No, I'm going to hold off because I'd like to save that. I don't want to spend too many cards. So I think what I'll do is instead I will spend 2 rain cards. I'll hold off on Sun till the next round, or the next play phase, so that I can just play one of my cards. So I spend 2 rains to be able to rain from up to 2 clouds. So I go ahead and that goes away, and that goes away because there are no more raindrops in those clouds. And now I vote again. I can either vote in rain or in Frost, or I can do a harvest action. I think what I'll do is go ahead and go into rain so that he's not beating me in that phase. Okay, go ahead and discard those. Now we go to the AI's turn. Okay, so what this says is take a cloud that has a mixed cloud, basically with one of my drops and one of their drops, and move it northwest. Well, in this case, there is no such cloud, so there's no valid placement. In any case where you have no valid action that you can do, you simply move the AI 1 point forward. You still always are going to do the voting action, so in this case 2 voting markers of the AI opponent goes into wind. Alright, so now it's my turn. Now, I made a bit of a tactical error because I wanted to do a Sun action first thing this round, but that is only possible if I've got a cloud. So now that I have no more clouds, that was really played poorly by me. So instead, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play both of those wind actions as a frost, so that I can get another cloud out there. All right. So I'll go ahead and put it back on this wheat. I'll put one of my raindrops in there, and now I can put it into frost or sun because I'm playing it as a frost action, or I can do a harvest. I think I'll just go ahead and go into frost. This way we've got 3 potential weather effects that can happen during the weather phase, and in the solo game I'll get to choose the tiebreakers if there are tied spots. I'll explain that as it comes up. All right, so I played the wind cards as a sun action, or as a frost action, pardon me. Went ahead and did my voting, and now do I want to do my second action? I think I do. I'm going to play it as a sun, so there's my 1 sun card. That's going to be my second card. I'll go ahead and place 2 drops into this cloud where I am already have presence, and these are going to get discarded. But first I'm going to do my sun voting, and I can either go here, go into the wind, or I can do a harvest. I think at this point what I'm going to do is a harvest action. Gives me a point. All right, AI's turn. This is going to be placing a drop in a cloud. So I'm going to roll. We got a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to place a neutral drop in that cloud. Now we're going to vote, and he's going to vote in the sun, and he's going to reduce that down to 1 and get a victory point. At this point, I'm going to pass. I have no more cards. I really don't have a whole lot of options here, so I'm going to pass. And so that means that now we are going to go into our first weather phase. Okay, so in the weather phase, what happens is you look at the areas on this part of the board that have the most markers in it. And those are 2 of the 4 are always going to happen. Every weather phase, 2 of these 4 weather actions are going to resolve. And in this case, we have 3 that are tied. It's always going to be the ones with the most. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to get to choose which of these 2 I get to resolve. That's one of the benefits in the solo game. So I'm obviously going to pick this one because I am winning this one. And I'm going to pick this one because it's a tie. All right, so when you resolve them in order clockwise, starting from the frost. That little arrow denotes that. So we do our frost weather effect. And for the frost weather effect, what happens is all of the light clouds, these are considered light clouds, become thunder clouds. So I take one of these nice little lightning markers and I'll place it on the edge here. And so now these are all thunder clouds. They're no longer light clouds. All right. So that's that. Then I remove my markers, and because I had the majority, I move forward 1. At the end of the game, that just got me 2 points. As you go forward, they give you more and more points, 5, 9, 14, etc. Now, we're going to resolve the rain phase. All right? Now, in the rain phase, all thunderclouds are going to rain. So, as you see, by doing it in this order, we now had all of these become thunderclouds, and they're all now going to rain. And so what happens is we resolve them one by one. This rains. Now, because it has a 1 in the drop there, that means that this is now a sprouting tile. It's not quite ready to grow yet. This is rice. It's a little bit different. So I place that marker on there to show that it is sprouting. This rains. And in this tile, it takes 3 to be a developed tile, and we have more than 3 there, so I place this here. What this denotes is that during a harvest phase or a scoring phase, this tile could now score because it has more than what's needed there. This is also going to rain. It meets its target number, so we go ahead and place that token there. All right, so we've done that effect. These markers go back. Because it was tied, neither one of us move up on the weather track. All right, So that was the weather phase. There is no harvest phase in this round. If all three of these were showing the kind of wheat face there, then we would have a scoring round and we would go through all the ones with the markers on them. So we're not quite there yet. So now we go to the cleanup phase. And in the cleanup phase, what we're gonna do is we roll, first of all, we move the round marker forward. We roll any of the dice that are not showing the harvest side, and I rolled a harvest. So now we know definitively there will be a scoring round at the end of this round, okay? And so now I deal myself out 8 more cards. And we are going to continue. Oh boy, wow, I got a lot of sun here. It's going to be a very sunny round. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get some clouds out there to take advantage of those sun actions. So, here we go. Now, this is unfortunate for me because this basically says that it's going to remove one of my raindrops from a particular tile. So let's see where it's coming from. Oops, those were both there. 6, there are none in 6, so what happens is it wraps around, goes back up to 1, and removes this from that spot, okay? And it's going to place a voting token in Frost. All right, so now it's my turn. I need to get some clouds out here. So let's go ahead and do a Frost action. Let's bring a cloud out. This is gonna score, so I feel like I need to get some raindrops onto this tile. But by doing that, maybe I just go for this one where I don't have any competition at this point. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come here, put one of my raindrops in there and see if I can finagle a way to get 2 or more of my raindrops onto this tile before the scoring round. Okay, now I do voting. I can go into Frost or I can go into Sun. I think at this point I'll go into... I'm going to go into Sun here because I think I want this action to happen. I want this weather action to happen, okay? Now I'm going to, for my optional second action, I'm going to do the Sun and I'm going to double my presence in this cloud. And I'm going to vote again in Sun. Cat hair, sorry. All right, that's done. Now we go back to the AI. All right, so in this particular action, we're going to add a new cloud with 2 neutral raindrops. So let's find out where we're going. We're going into 3. All right, wow. So this is a very busy tile. We place 2 of his, and this is dangerous because if those come down, then I'm still winning, but not by a whole lot. And now we put 2 of his voting markers into Frost. So Frost is very likely to happen this round. All right. Okay, so what do I need to do here? I think what I need to do is... Well, if I rain right now, I can get these onto this tile and guaranteed that this one's going to score, unless somehow one of my raindrops gets removed from it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's do that. So, I can remove 2. All right. There are now 2 of my raindrops on this tile, so it's developed. Okay, and now I do my voting. I can go into rain or I can go into Frost. I don't think there's much chance of me getting Frost, so I think I'll go into rain. All right, and now for my second action, part of me is wanting to go ahead and get a yeah, boy, I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do. I'm going to go ahead and do a Frost. Use 2 of these Suns to be my second Frost card. So I'll go ahead, put this here, put one of my raindrops in there. And so this is a Frost action. I can put it into Frost or Sun. Again, I don't think there's much chance of me competing in Frost, so I'll go ahead and go into Sun. And now the AI will go. All right, Oh man, that's very unfortunate because he gets two voting markers onto sun. This is going to place one drop onto a cloud. Let's find out which cloud it's going to be. It's going to be this cloud. So if this rains, he is now tied with me, which is remarkably unfortunate. He also is going to get 2 into the sun. So we're tied here. Luckily, I'll be able to get one more in there by playing the sun, but I also could pass. I don't know that I want to pass at this point. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this. Put 2 of my drops in here because I'm doubling my, adding 2 of my drops to a cloud I'm present in. I'll go ahead and place my 4th marker in there and hope that he does not place into sun this round. All right, let's find out. This is the shuffle all and draw another card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Shuffle these up. Hope that I don't bring up another sun card. And I really don't want a double sun card because that would mean he would win both of these because I know that frost is going to trigger unless rain or wind comes up. That could be possible too. All right. Okay, well, I kind of lucked out there. So he's going to place a drop onto one of these tiles. It's going to be tile 2. All right. The rain and harvest doesn't happen because there's already all 3 at the harvest spot. So I will now pass. Okay, and so that is going to end that phase, the action phase, and now we go to the weather phase. So the 2 that are going to happen is going to be frost and sun, and we have to go in order starting from frost. So frost is going to happen first, and that means that these clouds become thunder clouds. So I'll go ahead and denote that with my lightning markers. All right. Frost, he clearly wins. Or she, southern wind, I'm not sure if we need a gender on that. There we go. And now we go to the sun action. Now, in the sun action, what happens, this is slightly different in the solo game than in the multiplayer game. In the solo game, every cloud that the AI has presence in gets doubled. Luckily for me, at this point, there's only one. So they're going to go ahead and put 3 more drops in there. Now, if this were 8 drops, it would immediately overflow and spill onto this tile. And thankfully for me, that did not happen. I kind of lucked out there. And now I get to choose one of my clouds. I can't put them in both, but I get to double them in one of my clouds. And I think what I'm probably going to do is just go ahead and double up this one. All right, this doesn't overspill because we've got 6 in there. All right, and so that was the sun action. I actually won that one. So I'll go ahead and move up the marker there and give him his back again, or hers. Okay, so that was the weather phase, and now we go to the harvest phase. And here's where we score each tile that has the markers on it. Okay, now, had this been a rain effect, this would have gotten flipped up and the AI would have scored 2 points for those. However, we did not have a rain effect, so this does not score anything. It scores 0 points. That just goes away and the AI is kind of out of luck there. This tile, the leader is me, so I'm going to get 2 points plus a wheat token, which is worth potentially 12 points to me at the end of the game if I end up with a majority there. And the AI is going to get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. So you can see the second place player gets more points, but the potential is much higher if you get the majority. So all of these go back. And this goes away. The AI is the only player here, so they're going to get 5 points there. That goes away. These go away. And the exact same thing here. I'm the only player here, so I'm going to get 5. And this goes away, and these come back to me. All right, so there was our first harvest phase. Now, even if another one doesn't come up, we will be guaranteed to have one more at the end of the game. There's always a final harvest phase. So there's always going to be at least one scoring in the game. Okay, so that was harvest. Now we go to the cleanup phase. I move that to round 3. I re-roll the harvest dice. We've got 1, 2, 3. So to me, this tells me that we're only going to be having one more scoring round. I don't know that for sure, but I think it's pretty likely. All right, I get my 8 more cards. Okay, and we're going to move on to the beginning of the next round. Okay, so let's get these cards and see what we got working with here. We got some frost, we've got some rain, we've got a lot of frost, a little bit of wind, no sun. All right, well, we have no sun to speak of. Okay, well, let's see here. I think what I want to do, yeah, I want to get this cloud up here. I don't want the AI to get that wheat token. So first thing I'm going to do after they get their turn is I'm going to angle myself up there. So here we go. They start. First thing you're going to do is remove one of mine. Now, I don't have a raindrop on any of the clouds, so he can't do it. Therefore, he's going to get a point. And they're going to put one in frost. All right. So, first thing I'm going to do is a wind action. And in a wind action, I don't think I've done that yet in this game. Move a cloud you're present in to an adjacent space. So, this cloud is going to dump into this cloud, which is going to basically very much trigger those 8, and those spill onto the tile below. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and AI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've got to get some more. Although honestly, I don't mind tying here because then we would both get that 3 points, and the AI wouldn't get the token. My main concern at this point is the AI not getting the token. Okay, so now I need to vote. I either can vote for wind or I can vote for rain. I think it's more likely for me to vote for rain. Okay, now I've got a second action. I think what I want to do is get another cloud out there. So I will spend 2 of my frost tokens to get a cloud. I could theoretically put it here. I think instead I'm going to try to see if I can get both of these cottons to fire off. So I put a raindrop in there. I can go into frost, or I can go into sun, or I can do a harvest. Let's see here. Let's go. I've got a couple more frosts that I'll be able to play. I have no suns out here, and if they start getting a lot of suns, that could be a problem. But I think actually what I'm going to do is just do a harvest action. I'm going to knock this down to 1. Give myself a point. Okay, here we go. This is a cloud with a neutral drop and my drop moving northwest. There is no such cloud. They're going to get a victory point, and they're going to put 2 in wind. So unfortunately, it looks like wind is going to hit this turn, and it does look like they're going to win it. Okay, so let's see here. What I can do now, I can bring out another cloud, I can rain, I can put both of those clouds, both of those drops onto the tile below. Let's see here. I might want to get more clouds out. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go here. Let's drop well, that takes 4. Let's go here. Put a rain cloud there. And I'm going to go ahead and vote. I could vote in frost. I could vote in sun. I could do a harvest. Actually, I need to put this has very much hit its mark there. You've probably been screaming at me to change that. Frost, sun, or harvest. I'm going to go into frost. Okay, that's that. And now, do I want to rain? I think I do. Let's go ahead and rain. I'm going to rain from here, and I'm going to rain from here. Those are going to go away. And now I can go into rain, or I can go into frost, or I can go into harvest. I think I want to secure this rain spot. Go there. Okay. Those go away. Here we go. This one is going to be creating a new cloud with 2 drops. So let's find out where it's going. It's going into 1, which it cannot. So it's going to go here. We always move to the next available spot. And they're going to put 2 of their raindrops there. They're also going to place 2 into frost, which is very unfortunate for me. Okay. So let's see here. I can do a frost, I could do a wind. I think what I'm going to do I want to do a wind? If I do a wind and move it over here, no, I think instead what I'm going to do is do a wind, move this down here, because this tile's not crowded enough. I'll go ahead and go into, I'm not, I'm going to do a harvest. This is going to go to a harvest face, and so I get 1 point for doing that, and then I get a second. Whenever you move it down to a harvest face, you get a second point. So I went ahead and did that. I can't do a second action. Now we go to the AI. Here they're going to place a drop on a cloud. Let's find out which one it's going to be. There's only 2. It's going to be here, which kind of stinks, honestly. And they put 1 onto sun. And they do a harvest action that moves that down to 2, and they get a point for that. All right, so now the option I have, I could pass, or I could do this frost action. And I think what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and do this frost. I'll go here. I'll put a raindrop in there. I can do a frost or a sun or a harvest. Frost I can't win. Sun I can tie, but that's not going to trigger this round anyway. I'm going to do a harvest. Let's see, maybe there's a crazy possibility that we get a harvest at the end of this round. It could happen if they come up on the next one. All right, so there's that. Here we go. And we didn't. Okay, so now we're going to be placing a drop onto a cloud. And let's find out which one it's going to be. It's going to be this one, which is remarkably unfortunate. That's really exactly where I didn't want it to go. And they're going to put 2 onto sun. Well, I probably pushed my luck a little too much there. If I had just passed, they wouldn't have gotten another raindrop into that cloud, which means they're probably going to end up, because we're going to have a, well, we don't have to have a rain action, but oof. So I have to think about this. Okay, so I'm passing. Now we're going to go to the weather phase, and here's where I have to think, because if I trigger, I can now trigger any one of these 3. I can trigger the frost, I can trigger the rain, or I can trigger the wind, and 2 of those 3 have to hit. But I get to pick which 2. If I trigger the rain, oh, that's only thunderclouds that rain, so this wouldn't, I didn't want these to come down. So I don't really mind, so I actually am going to do the rain. Okay, so that's going to be one of them, because, oh, wait a minute. Oh, if I do this, I won't do that. I think I'm going to do wind. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do wind and rain. Okay. Because if I did frost here, that would make these all thunderclouds. Then when they rained, they would spill over. I don't want that. So I'm going to do wind and I'm going to do rain. And so first thing we do is wind. All right. The wind action is a little bit different in the solo game. In the solo game, for the wind action, what I do is I have to move any one drop that I have to an adjacent tile. And then any of these tiles that has one of my drops on them has to move north. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here. All right? Now, this is going to have to move up there. This is going to move up there. All right? That was the wind action. The AI obviously won that. Now I'm going to do the rain action, which is that all thunderclouds rain. There are no thunderclouds. I won that vote, so it goes there. Okay. Now there is no harvest phase. We got it close. So we go to the cleanup phase. We're going to go to the last round, round 4. I am going to roll that, and we're at 4. So it seems clear that, you know, we'll just have our regular harvest at the end of the round anyway. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to get my cards. We'll see how this turns out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. We've got a lot of wind. Wow, a lot of wind, a lot of rain. Just wind and rain. That's quite unfortunate because it doesn't give me a lot of things to work with. Okay. Here we go. AI first. They're going to be placing 2 drops onto a tile. All right, so let's find out where. They're going to be placing 2 drops onto this tile. This tile is now developed, so we place a marker there. All right. And they potentially are angling for 4 points there, and they get 2 spots in the rain. All right. Now, I want to get these off of here. So I'm going to do a wind. Okay. And I'm going to move a cloud I'm present into an adjacent space. So I'm going to move this here. These are going to spill. For 2 reasons it's going to become a thundercloud. 1, because anytime clouds merge, light clouds merge, they become a thundercloud. And also anytime 4 drops get into a cloud, it becomes a thundercloud. So this is now a thundercloud. I will now do my vote. I can either vote in wind, or I can vote in rain, or I can do a harvest action. Let's go into rain. All right. Now I've got potentially a second action. Do I want to do that? Let's do this. Let's rain. All right. Let's take these, put them right down here. And now this is a developed tile. And now I get a vote again, and I'll vote in rain yet again. Okay, here we go. We have, this is moving a pure cloud southeast. So the way this is going to work is that if these were in the left, they would move southeast. First I have to roll and find out which one it's going to be. So it's going to be this one. It can only move to P6. Okay, so, or this is called P6. So this is actually going to move here, and we're going to put 1 into the wind. All right. So this is going to have to be my reshuffle card here. All right, my turn. Now, I could theoretically pass right now and just go to this last harvest phase. I'd be losing here by 1 point. This is actually, I should be doing this. Sorry. I'd be winning here. We'd be doing a frost action and a rain action, where those would become thunderclouds and they'd both spill, so he or she would get points there and there. Wow. Oofed. This is going to be rough. So I think instead what I'm going to do is... This is a rough one here. The wind doesn't do me any good because I don't really have any presence in clouds. I could turn in some of these, 2 of these, to do a frost action. I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do, this may be a bad play, I'm going to do a rain action. I can't actually do the action there, but I can vote in rain. And so that's what I'm going to do. Voting in rain. And now I could vote in wind. I don't know that that does me a lot of good. I could vote in wind. Oh, I can vote in rain again. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play these. I can't actually do the rain action, but I could vote in rain. Okay, make sure that that triggers. Although I'm not really wanting that to trigger too much, but that's the break. So now we've got the reshuffle. Okay, and here we go. So we take what would have been a mixed cloud. We don't have any mixed clouds, so they just get the point there, and they put 2 into wind. All right. I think at this point, what I'm going to do is pass. Yeah, I'm going to pass because I don't want to give the AI another action. And so now we're going to go into our weather phase. We will have a harvest phase because it's the last round. Okay? Okay, so in this weather phase, we're going to be triggering frost and we're going to be triggering rain. So this is probably not looking great for me. All right? So what happens is this. Frost first. Frost means that all of the light clouds become thunderclouds. In this case, there's only one light cloud, so we'll make that a thundercloud. They win that vote, so they're going to move up 1 spot there. And now we're going to do the rain, which is that all thunderclouds are going to rain, and this is going to develop as well. So this rains, and this rains. And when this one rained, it became developed, which is unfortunate for me because that's going to give them 5 points. I did win that vote, so I stayed ahead of the AI on the voting track, which is nice. That's a lot of points right there. That could be the difference. Okay, so we've done our 2 actions, and now we're going to do our final harvest phase. Okay, so here we go. On this tile, the AI is going to get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get 3. 1, 2, and 3. This goes away, and these go back to the supply. Since this became a sprouting or a developed tile, actually went from sprouting to developed, they are going to get points. And the way this works is that you get 1 point for every one of your tile, every one of your drops on there. So they get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And then this goes away. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're each going to get 3 points. No wheat tokens, which is really actually very important for me because that saved me 12 points. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. These go away. That was my biggest concern. That's a pretty big swing. All right. Technically, I can not put these away, but I like having to clean. All right. Now we go here, and this is going to be pretty much a wash. I'm going to get 5 points for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And AI is going to get 5 for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Now, the end game points that we're going to add are going to be for our voting track points and for wheat tokens. And I think I'm going to overtake them here. So they're going to get 9 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to get 14, so that's going to be 37. All right, and I get 12 points for this. So 12 is going to get me to 49. So I did just, with that wheat token, if I had not been able to hang on to that, that might have been the difference. So I ended up winning 49 to 40. Hopefully you got a pretty good idea on how the solo variant of Petrichor plays, the Southern Winds. Got some pretty interesting mechanics here and obviously some beautiful art. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.